Arsenal is interested in signing the Ukrainian international known as Viktor Tsyhankov, a guy that is going to obviously make a lot of rounds all over social media in the recent past. And I had one of you, I'm just really looking for your name here, who went ahead and obviously questioned me onto the current situation of this guy and said, who am I not obviously dance for the tunes of the people that really watch into this channel known as the Rokani Media Football. Good evening, hope you guys are really having fun. There is a friend of mine who really resides in Western region. Every time he sends me a call and says, Rokani, it's 12 hours without stories, you know. I know it's really disgusting, but I'm really working upon it to see to it that in that nick of time I always represent to the fullest. But Tsyhankov Viktor is what we are talking about now. And we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Juma Karim, and hope you're really having a fantastic stay wherever you are. This is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as your football is concerned. And I brought a story yesterday night about Rafael Varane, and most of you are like, Rokani, you don't really wish us no. That's why you really recommend us not to obviously sign Rafael Varane. I told them that it's not all about it's not all about Rokani David not wishing you well, but I'm the person that wishes you right, because I need to see to it that you people get in experienced players. And I went ahead to add on to that and said that even if it's not Rafael Varane, it can be someone else who is really experienced, but that Arsenal side lacks what we call experience when it comes to the big stages of the game. How many likes on this video? 300 likes marking this video, and don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I'm looking for the comment of this guy who obviously told me that I should talk about Tsyhankov, you know. Tsyhankov, you know, his name is really hard, you know, to obviously pronounce, but I can call him Viktor. He's really one of those people that I was going to obviously put in a huge shift into the La Liga. And I've forgotten your name, but you know yourself. I've obviously tried to look out for you here to see to it that I obviously include your name into this video, but all in vain. There are very many comments onto this channel, and all you know yourself when I obviously ask me about Viktor Tsyhankov. You understand? And finally, we are obviously gonna know what this guy is all about, into what he's doing everywhere he is. So let's see close to 300 likes match of this video. After smashing that, don't forget obviously the needful, you go. But we are talking about Tsyhankov. Tsyhankov is what we are talking about in here onto this channel. And who went ahead obviously break the story? It's Sport Darius from Spain, telling us that Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta is in love with Tsyhankov in the for you, Tsyhankov, and believes the player would be a perfect addition to his current attacking options at Emirates. Tottenham are also thought to be interested in Israel-born winger who has a €30 million or 25.5 release clause in his contract at Girona. They also added that Arsenal and AC Milan have established contact with Tsyhankov's entourage, and the prospect of Champions League football, which both clubs are able to offer, is greatly appealing to the Ukrainian international. Then, the Mail Sport told us that Arsenal have made contact and have made an approach for Girona winger Viktor Tsyhankov, with AC Milan and Tottenham Hotspur interested. Now, let me break it down. I've watched the guy play. He's a revelation. He's a joy to watch. You know, it's like you're getting a Pedro Neto at a cheaper price, you know. And the way he really plays with his left foot is really very good. He's a flamboyant winger. He inverts well. He's unselfish, and his stats at Girona just speculate hit well outside there. 30 games in the La Liga, 8 goals scored, 7 assists, 15 goal involvements in there for you. And he was part of the team, or the dream team, that took Girona to the dream world. Remember, Girona had just gone ahead obviously get promoted into the La Liga, but this player is one of those that went ahead to obviously give Girona a very good position, and Girona qualified for the Champions League and they collected 81 points. So that is Tsyhankov for you, Viktor. If you want those crosses, he'll give them in. He scores goals. The way he paces, the way he accelerates, huge stamina in him. And I tell you what, he's really one of those players that I think Arsenal can get. At £25 million release clause, I tell you what, that is an absolute steal. 26 years of age, why not go for this player? And I'm really excited that Arsenal looking out for players to obviously come in through and compete with Bukayo Saka. It has been a point of concern for a very long period of time here on how Arsenal will try to act in moments like this. And I was like, they should find solutions to such problems, because there are games that you need a press-resistant player who acts well in small pockets of space. And this is the guy. In small pockets of space, he can obviously skip past players. If you are really gonna watch the heroes, Ukraine is there, and go out and look for this guy. Look out for Tsyhankov, as Ukraine plays into what we call the Euros. You get? If you look out for his number, a lot will obviously come in through and you have to see this guy. He usually dons shirt number 15 when he's playing for Ukraine. Now we wait and see what shirt number is going to be given when he's playing for them in the Euros. But I know it's going to be the same shirt number. And I'm also going to keep a very huge eye onto him because he has the chance to obviously increase Arsenal's speed on really getting in this player. Because if he really does a lot, right? If he really does a lot and really puts himself in the picture outside there as one of the best right wingers in the world, Tsyhankov will obviously get onto the Emirates. He has 3 games because they might not even get out of the group where they are, but he has 3 games to prove himself. He has been playing for Girona, a surprise team, and now here comes the biggest stage. Can he lift up Ukraine alongside Modric and Zinchenko? You understand? And one of the reasons that are going to obviously come to my head when I'm really reading into this story is there is interest for Arsenal to get in a player at Arsenal who is of the same nationality with Zinchenko. Why? Arsenal were willing to break the bank to sign Mikhailo Modric, Ukrainian as Zinchenko, to come to Arsenal. And they missed out onto that. You know the story. Now, going in for Viktor, Tsyhankov is another attempt to obviously bring in another person to obviously have what we call a compelling association and mutual understanding with Zinchenko, because Zinchenko feels lonely. With what is happening home in Ukraine, he needs someone to obviously do the needful. And I think it might be one of the things that are going to affect the form of Zinchenko this season. With stories coming out from Germany that reports of Zinchenko to Bayern Munich are wide off the mark, it comes to my understanding that this might be a signing to obviously make Zinchenko feel at home and be that kind of player that can obviously help Arsenal really do the needful in the competitions of the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, because Arsenal could bring in Sago Jr. You get? But imagine if at all you are having a lineup that is going to be playing the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup when you are having Tsyhankov as the right forward, Trossard or Martinelli as the left forward, Gabriel Jesus leading the line, having Jorginho into that midfield alongside maybe Zubimendi, then Fabio Vieira playing ahead of them in the midfield 3. Then in the central defense you are having Jakub Kivio, Julian Timber, Zinchenko on the left back, and Tomiyasu as the right back. That is a side that is really good enough to haunt any side, and I think that's where Tsyhankov really gives you the huge boost in there for you. The edge, it's exactly the edge that Arsenal need, and he has what we call all the attributes that Arsenal will need. He accelerates very well, his decision making is great, going in for those curling efforts, surprising the goalkeeper in there for you. But the big question is, can Man City allow this player to join Arsenal? Because Girona is owned by the same team that owns Man City. I'll tell you, it's out of the hands of Girona because they included what we call a buyout clause. They included a buyout clause, meaning that whichever team that this player agrees to go ahead and really plays for, that team will obviously just come in through, pay £22.5 million and get in the player. With Arsenal willing to spend huge on the midfield that they're expected to get in, I think if at all you spend £26 million onto Tsyhankov and 55 onto Benjamin Šeško, that is like £90 million, all £80 million. That means you can spend the 100 you want on Bruno Guimaraes. You get? That is it. So we wait and see how that pans out, but Arsenal stand a very huge risk on this guy coming in through to fit in like a glove into the Premier League, because he's going to be playing in the Euros. One, he's not going to be part of the Arsenal preseason for a long time. I don't know whether he will cut his holiday short, but he'll have to rest for like 2 weeks to join Arsenal in the US if at all the player is signed. But for me, what excites me about all this is Arsenal going in for these players that we literally knew little about, and they're going in for them, and they're into the public eye, and they're onto this big platform of the Rokani Media Football to be really discussed on their potentials if they join the club of Arsenal. And he's a very good guy, and he does a lot on the ball. He's not injury prone. That is one of the things that most of you might be asking in there for you. And let's obviously get into his injury record and see how he has gonna hit to feature into his injury record. Is he injury prone? Let's see how he has gonna hit obviously be doing in the previous seasons before he even came in through to the side of Girona. Now, this season alone of 2023-2024, he has missed out onto how many games? 3, 8, 10, 12. He has missed out on 12 games when he's playing for Girona. Now, if a player misses out on 12 games a season, I think that's not bad, because if we are to really compare it with Arsenal, Arsenal played 38 games in the Premier League. They played 2 games in the Carabao Cup to make that 40. 1 game in the Community Shield and 1 game in the FA Cup to make it 42. In the Champions League, they played 10 games. They played 58 games. Now, if Arsenal went ahead to play 52 games, this guy missed out on only 12. And he has been a regular at that side. This time round, he has to come out and obviously fight in for position with the man himself known as Bukayo Saka. And I think if he misses out on 12 out of the 60 that Arsenal is approximating to play next season, he would have gone ahead to play like 48, 50 games. That's not a bad output. So for me, he's not an injury-prone player, and you don't need to worry about that. But Saka needs a competitor to obviously elevate his career to the next level. And this guy brings you something different. He has a resale value, and he is really that player that you're going to get in and not even pay him a lot of money, because when you look at his salary, when you look at his weekly wage, I tell you, it's really surprising. He earns 23,170 million. Sorry, 23,170,000 pounds. Sorry, 23,170 pounds, meaning that he averages 24,000 pounds a week. In a year, he earns 1.2 million pounds. So Arsenal will just obviously multiply that salary by 3. Give him a salary of 70,000 pounds a week. He'll obviously come in through, live a happy life at the club of Arsenal. I found myself in a situation of doing this video because I felt like it's very important for Viktor Tsyhankov contacted him by Arsenal. Arteta idolizing this guy. He wants to bring him at the Emirates. We wait to see where Arsenal is really going to end all this. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below on whether you could really urge Arsenal to sign Tsyhankov. Would you really urge Arsenal to sign Tsyhankov? All that and more into the comment section below. And Juma Karim to the Muslims, the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. First video of the day, second one coming in through ASAP. We out, my mate.